Hi everyone! So I thought I'd do a storage video for you today as I have just cleaned out and reorganised a lot of things in this room. So I thought I'd share with you where everything is stored and maybe you can pick up some storage tips and ideas for your own pet rooms or craft rooms along the way. So if you are new to my videos and new to my channel, then just briefly, I have 4 female guinea pigs that live in this huge custom built DIY cage, but this room is not only used as a pet room. In here is where I do all my sewing, it's where I cut out all my fabrics, where I work on the sewing machine, where I work on the computer, where I package up orders and get them ready to be sent to the post office, and it's also where I come and have my breakfast in the morning and dry and straighten my hair. So this room really does have a lot of functions and it is really useful to know that everything's organised and everything has its own place that it can go to when I want to do something different in the room. Hello Willow, are you eating one of those hay cubes? Yes, they're very nice, aren't they? I think all the other piggies are feeling very dozy and sleepy. There's Sprite. There's little Lyra hiding under there. And we can just see Twiglet stretching out and relaxing in their little hut. So I thought I'd start off with the desk area, which actually, despite appearances, has quite a lot of storage for all the different uses. So one idea which I picked up, I think from a blog when I was choosing the furniture to go in this room, was to, rather than getting a table and then separate drawer units to use as storage, was to combine this, buy a limon tabletop from Ikea, this is the large size, and then use some storage units that double up as legs supporting the tabletop. And this has been a really good way to save and make the most of the space that I've got underneath the table. And we're going to have a quick look in these first. I have a lot of sewing supplies because they are things that I want to store away and keep out of the tabletop, but I want them to be really easily accessible at the same time. So in here, my top drawer, I have all my cutting tools, my rotary cutter, scissors, I have all my sewing threads and bobbins, and this is also where my camera lives randomly. The second drawer down is all to do with packaging things. So I have my handy Royal Mail price guide. I have the labels which I use to go on the mail bags. I have my business cards for the fabric quarter, more address labels back there. Third drawer down is more sewing supplies, but these are things that I use less often, so they're not needed to be as easily accessible as in the top drawer. I have my materials that I use in the hay bags. I have screwdrivers if I want to get into my sewing machine. I have my cam snaps and all the cam snaps that go with it for the hay bags. This is where I also keep my boning that goes in some of my items. In the last 2 drawers down, it's kind of miscellaneous items. This one is where my hairdryer is. In here also lives a little handy vacuum cleaner, which is a must-have. I'm sure anyone will agree who keeps guinea pigs indoors. Hay gets absolutely everywhere, so it's really handy to have a small vacuum cleaner on hand for when it's needed. And then the last drawer down we have kind of some more miscellaneous items, a folder with everything in it for the household, and my straighteners also live in here. On top of the desk I like to keep it quite minimalist with not much going on. So I just have my laptop, I have my angle pose lamp which is really good for keeping light on when I'm doing my sewing. In that little storage box in the corner goes current projects that I'm working on, bits of patterns that I need to access easily. I have my mirror for doing my hair in the mornings. I have my sewing machine, which for anyone interested is a Janome J324. I've had it for 4 years now and it's still going strong, so it's a really good sewing machine. I also have my cutting mat which stays on here and is always needed. Not only does it protect the desk, whatever I'm doing, but cutting mats need to stay flat. Mine has become a bit warped, I think from putting hot drinks and stuff on it, unfortunately. But in general, you keep cutting mats flat because they can become misshapen if you start storing them on their sides or anything like that. So that stays out all the time on the table. And then in this cupboard on this side of the table, we have a mixture of piggy things and more sewing stuff towards the back. So under here That box that you can see back there is full of Minky, which I use for my lap pads. But at the front we have the piggies' food in their airtight container. They have the water spray and antibacterial spray for when I'm cleaning out the litter boxes and cleaning out the cage. Up top here we have some fabric scraps and needle felting supplies, which I need to get round to doing something with. At the front here we have spare bowls and veggie bowls that I use, and on this side is all kind of medical healthcare related stuff, so medicines that I've had in the past, syringes, critical care, probiotic, that's Lyra's ear cleaning stuff that she had from the vet, things like that go on that side. Having the guinea pig's cage at tabletop height really does provide me with a lot of desperately needed storage. Before they had the cage on the floor and all this would be in cupboards scattered around the whole house. So supporting the cage we have these adjustable legs from Ikea, and we also have Kallax shelves from Ikea as well. Everything in here is Ikea. Cheap and cheerful, but looks nice and serves its functions. So for these Kallax shelves, Ikea do a lot of storage boxes that are designed to fit perfectly. In here I've just got cheap fabric ones. These bottom two just store a lot of fleeces, pads, things that are used to line the bottom of the cage, and we've also got pillowcases and old towels in there as well. Up here we've got some more completed sewing projects. On this side, which might surprise some of you, this is the extent of all the piggies' chew toys and treats for their cage. They aren't spoiled in terms of they haven't got lots of treats, they don't have lots of chew toys and stuff. And the same with treats really. I prefer to get them natural treats, which means they don't last as long, and I don't like to have treats hanging around a long time either, so I tend to buy something, we use it in a few weeks, and then we might get something else. At the moment we've got their Hay Experts dried apple, which they really like. Back there we have some dried plantain as well, so really that's the only two treats they have. Definitely don't go overboard on treats. I am a strong believer in the fact that guinea pigs love fresh vegetables more than any dried or store-bought treat that you can get for them, and it's also healthier for them. So fresh veg all the way, that's why I don't have a lot of treats for them. Just quickly, between the cage and the desk here is where I have a massive folder, and that's where all my sewing patterns and big things go in. So if you have a craft room, you have patterns, you need to store big A1 size bits of paper, then getting a proper folder for them I definitely recommend. Before, my patterns used to end up scattered all over the place. I'd never be able to find the one I want, but this keeps them nice and organised and all in one place. So I'm never in a panic thinking, oh my god, I've like thrown one of them in the bin by accident, which wasn't a nice feeling. So they're all stored in there. In this other Kallax shelving unit, I have two more of the different style storage boxes you can get. These ones are a bit sturdier. I think they were probably just a couple of pounds more. They weren't that expensive. They're like plasticky style ones, and these are really good for holding a lot of fabric that I have because they're just a bit more sturdy. So in here is all cotton all the way down to the bottom, and I am a bit of a fabric hoarder, I have to admit, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there, probably too much. And then in this other box we have a lot of cut out bits and bobs of fabric that are ready to use, and then these top two are guinea pig storage. So here they have their hay cubes, which they really like, these meadow hay cookies from Naturals. They're a bit of a treat, I suppose, although they are just hay, but they do seem to like them a lot. And they also have their treat hay, which is Alfalfa King Timothy hay. A tad expensive from Pets at Home, but if your guinea pigs haven't tried it before, then I'm sure they will absolutely love it. We also have a little cute needle felted guinea pig poking out from in the corner there. And then on this side, more guinea pig storage. We have all the newspaper which lines the litter trays. We have some of the books and adoption packs and information on the side there. I've just brought the lamp down here so we can see a bit easier, but I will just briefly cover what is underneath the cage. First up we have their washing basket. Underneath that we have another storage box with absorbent fabric, some spare fleece scraps and things that I also use for Squeak Dreams. And then back there we have all the fleece which I use for making the piggy beds and everything with. That's a really big storage box and really handy for storing all the fleece in there. We have just here their dustpan and brush, which is a handy place to keep it out of sight back there. And then on this side we have their big bag of meadow hay. And finally back there we have some of the larger wooden cage furniture items and some soft cosy items that the piggies use in their cage as well. And then finally I also have the space behind these, and there's just vet bed and also the piggies' food and playpen stored behind there, which is another sneaky little storage space that's really handy. So I think I have covered everything in this room. I really like this space, even though the room itself isn't really that big. I do spend a lot of my time in here, whether I'm sewing or just relaxing and spending time with the piggies. Yeah, I really like this room, and I hope you'll agree that the big amount of storage I have in here really makes it a lot easier to keep everything organised and in its place. So if you've picked up some tips and ideas, then please let me know. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment if you feel like it, and give us a sub if you haven't already. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and there'll be another video next weekend.